Hey guys, exciting install today. We have our brand new rear oil and water cover, which we will be fitting to our GT4 shop car, along with the rear bulkhead bar. Let's have a closer look at the rear cover in full dry carbon fiber. This is a full replacement. And on the underside, we've got all the original clips, which we will be using to mount it to the original rear plastic cover on the back, alongside with a bulkhead cover, which we have used and actually have aluminium running all the way through it for support, as it is a structural part, along with when torquing up the screws through the holes, we've got support and it's not directly onto the carbon. So all made identical to the original parts, ready to go on, which will be a really nice match for the rest of the carbon and replace the nasty chrome finish within the car, which doesn't actually match any of the other parts in the car whatsoever. So really nice, simple plug and play install. So yeah, let's get on with it, and we'll share some install guides and pictures as we go along. Okay, into the car we go. Now, on our GT4, for some reason, we have the black RS rear oil and water cover. For some reason, most of the cars are in chrome. I don't know how we got this, so let's get on with it and remove the trims so that we can then get on and install the carbon trims. So firstly, what we are needing to do is these two covers, plastic covers on either side, we're needing to pull these up and towards us to remove these, which will allow us to gain access to the full plastic trim, which we are going to remove as one piece so that we can have access to this and work on it off the vehicle. Now, with the side covers removed, right and left, it is pretty straightforward, and this little trim cover is just held in by a couple of pop rivet plugs. So we're just running our hand on the underside of it. We'll release all those tabs, and let's move it gently out, move it up. And there we go. Now onto removing the plastic trims. I'm going to try and position the phone so we can see that there. I'm going to just get my hand under and lift that ever so slowly, and then work on the other side. Comes up really easily, and we're going to just slide it down the seatbelt. All right, and that's it. Super easy. We got our two screws on this side and our two on that side. Moving on to remove the bulkhead, it is two T20 torque screws, so we're gonna go ahead and remove those. With the screws removed from both sides, I've put them away on the left and right here, keep them out of the way, make sure they don't fall. We are just going to slowly remove the bulkhead. It slides up really easily, and remove that up and out. As easy as that. So that is the rear cover out and the bulkhead bar out, and let's crack on and get the carbon installed. Moving on to the rear cover, we're going to flip it over, and on the back you will see that there are metal pins that run all the way along and around the side. We are going to lift and pry these up so they are facing square the whole way along, and this will then allow us, once we have also heated up the top of the cover, as it's stuck on with very strong 3M tape, this will then allow us to push the pins and they will slide straight through. So making sure to pry all of them up, get them facing nice and square along the top, so the cover can then push through In a moment's time, I'm going to use a heat gun to heat up the top side, along with some fishing line and a trim tool to just assist with removing the top cover off, as the 3M tape that Porsche uses is really, really strong. Using the heat gun, I'm going to really just take my time on this. Guys, please make sure do not burn the plastic at all. Keep the distance, a little bit of heat, work your way, a little more heat. So we're just going to work on one side to start off with. And as you can see, I've slowly started on this side, and I'm just able to start to lift it. And you can see it's really nasty 3M tape below the surface that we just need to work our way slowly. And if you can get one corner started, it will then start to lift really nicely. And then just take your time, work a little bit of heat, work it a little bit more, and just be careful. As this does heat up, it has the tendency, it wants to kink and bend slightly. So if you can even and get both hands on both sides and work it up ever so slowly, that's the trick. Okay, almost finished putting the cover on. So you really got to take your time and make sure with the metal pins, I haven't pushed them all the way in, that you get them really straight, and you'll have to adjust ever so slightly on each one, and start with one corner and work your way. I obviously haven't got it all the way on just yet. We're going to continue to push it, and I've actually just done this as a test fitting first on top of it. I'm then going to remove it now, seeing that I've got all the pins lined up really nicely, and put a tiny bit of 3M tape underneath, and then we'll do the final fitment. And you can see on the underside, I've pulled them out slightly now, but all the pins have made their way through the holes. Included with the kit is a small roll of 3M tape. I'm going to cut the 3M tape into little bits and pieces. As per the original, we're going to mark and use a little bit of 3M just around the water, and then around the oil cooler area, and possibly one little strip in the center, a couple little bits and pieces. And we've got most of the pins now nice and straight and lined up, having done a test fit, and then removed it ever so slowly and gently, also using the back of the pins to push them through, just to be really careful and cautious once taking it off. And yeah, let's get the 3M on, and then let's do the final fitment and get it on the car. And that's it all fitted up. Absolutely OEM fitment the whole way around. I think it looks absolutely awesome. So on the underside, the little metal pins, when fitting, make sure to press the carbon all the way through against the surface, as well, not too firmly, nice and firmly, and then just fold over the pins all the way on the underside. These ones folded, tucked underneath the carpet, and the same on the side, along with the 3M tape, which was supplied. I ran the 3M all along the side here just to make sure that it was held in place nicely, and a few little strips in the center. Let's go and fit it on the car, and that will join alongside the bulkhead, which I think is going to look absolutely awesome. What an improvement. As mentioned before, this is the black RS option that comes in the car. Most of the other cars has the chrome effect, so that will be a massive difference between the carbon and the chrome, especially looking through the rear view window at the two. So just before it goes back in the car, we've got the Automotive Passion rear bulkhead carbon brace next to the original. Not like it makes a massive difference, but probably about half the weight. The original is super, super rigid, as we have the aluminium strut running all the way along the inside within the carbon fiber. On the underside, identical, with the added hole for the support beam. So let's go get it fitted up. Jumping back in the GT4, we are going to line up the Bulkhead brace. And there we go. What a difference matching up with the back of the bucket seats. Looks absolutely awesome. What an improvement. And then we're going to go ahead, just line up our four bolts. I'm going to have to just go back and have a look at the torque settings. I think it is 18 to 20 Newton meters, which I'll pop down in the description. Having torqued the bar up to 18, I now am going to pop back the seat covers, the seatbelt covers, and just to make sure, some tips, we don't want any rattles, anything going on. We have our one little plastic grommet for the pin to go into in the front, and we have one that goes into the rear as well. I always like to pop these in first, install them in first, ready to go in, and then make sure that you've got all your little metal clips all lined up, ready to go. One came out of here. I'm gonna pop that one back in like so. Everything's ready to be popped back in place. Oh, we're just gonna rotate the cover up and over into position. And I always find the way that I disassembled it, rotating the back part up and around. So think of that when putting it back into place. Pretty easy and straightforward. You just want to make sure that you tuck it in nicely. Everything clips back together. Take your time. If you get it wrong the first time, have another little go at it. But yeah, pretty much all set. I think it looks absolutely amazing behind the carbon bucket seats. A real nice match, and no more of an eyesore looking through the back of the car and seeing the big chrome piece which doesn't match any of the interior trim. On to the last steps of installing the oil and water cover back into place. So we're going to slide it in nice and gently. So last steps is installing the water and oil cover back into place. As we removed it, slide it in at a slight angle, work your way up and around, get it into final position, and then it is just a simple push down. And when pushing it down, make sure to push around on the plastic to get all the little clips popped in on the underside of the plastic trim and not on the carbon fiber, as we do not want to put too much pressure on that. So work your way around on the plastic. And that is it all back in place. Give it a little wipe down, all the finger marks. And then it's a case of going to pop the covers back on to the sides, left and right, and that is the full install alongside with the front bulkhead and the rear. I think that looks just absolutely amazing, and what a difference when closing the rear and looking through the glass and into the back of the car. I think that looks absolutely awesome. So while I was fitting this side, as I was pushing it in, a little metal pin popped out. So that's no worries at all. I actually just removed this piece again, and you can see where it slots into place. We've got 1, 2, and then 3, and your 1, 2, 3 little holes there. So we're just gonna line up the first pin with that first pinhole, and then the carpet slots into place. So you're just gonna line up your 2 teeth, which are on the bottom, into the bottom there first, and then slide it up into place, and you'll be able to also get that pin straight through there. Easy done if you do want to fit the plastic trims first. Now with it all complete, can stand back and admire the carbon fiber and the match behind your carbon bucket seats. I think it looks absolutely awesome. Really easy modification, which makes such a difference on the vehicle. Thanks for watching, guys, and please keep an eye out for all our new GT4 parts, which we have coming to the market really soon. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, get over there, Automotive Passion 1, or keep an eye out on our YouTube channel for more updates on the GT4.